Shoot her down. Get moving! Drop them.
UAV on standby.
Today we're going to set up a class for the FAL based on the gun's strengths and weaknesses. Let's look at the stats. The FAL or FAL is a semi-automatic rifle with a low fire rate but high damage profile. It's ranked number 2 among assault rifles in damage and range, falling just behind the SMR. The most standout quality of this weapon is accuracy, holding the number 1 spot in this category. The reload speed is the second fastest at 2.13 seconds. You can see here I'm measuring the reload speed from animation to the first shot you could take, which makes it a lot easier to hit targets at a distance. The iron sights are slightly obstructive, so I think a sight attachment will be very useful, especially considering the long range applications of this gun. The recoil is very low, as you can see here. The fire rate is slow even during successive rapid firing, but it's not the slowest among assault rifles. Next, I'm going to attach a target finder and check the gun's kill rate at different ranges. At close range, the FAL takes only 2 bullets to kill. At mid-range, long range, and very long range, it takes only 3 bullets. So this gun is very powerful, but it, as I said before, is not the most powerful assault rifle. Because of the low fire rate and high damage and kill rate, we can safely say this gun is best at long ranges. So I think we'll be building our class around that type of playstyle. Alright, so we have the FAL. The first attachment is going to be the target finder. That makes it easier to see enemies at a long distance, and that's the type of playstyle we're going to be using with this class setup. But the trade-off is that you give up peripheral vision when aiming down sight, so you have to be aware of that. The reflex sight is good for medium range confrontation, so if you get on a smaller map, maybe it might be good to switch out to the reflex sight. It has a clearer view and more precise reticle options. The second attachment is going to be the foregrip. The foregrip adds to this gun's already impressive accuracy. The suppressor is also an option here, as well as the select fire, but with the 2 alternate attachments, remember they both will reduce your range and affect the recoil, so be careful which one you pick. For perk 1, we're going to go with Ghost. We don't have a launcher on this class, so Ghost is a good choice, but remember you have to keep moving when using Ghost to be invisible to the radar. For perk 2, we're going to equip the wild card perk 2 Greed. Then we want to choose Toughness and Cold-Blooded. Accuracy is the main strength of this gun, so we don't want to lose it while getting shot. Also, we want Cold-Blooded so we can't be targeted easily. Perk 3 is really up to you. I like using Engineer to avoid bouncing Bettys and Claymores, but it's your choice. For the lethal and tactical grenades, again, it's your personal preference. I like the C4 and concussions for this class. Alright, let's move on to strategy. Alright, so the FAL class works best on the map carriage, in my opinion. It works well on large maps, but this map is particularly fairly open. It has a lot of long lines of sight and plenty of cover. So the first thing you want to do on this map is to find cover and aim down range to target your opponent. Remember, it's going to take about 2 or 3 bullets to kill from a long distance. Once you actually get a kill or 2, it's a good idea to change location. Remember, we don't have a silencer on this class, so every time you fire, you appear on the enemy's mini-map. Also, your peripheral vision is blocked while aiming down sights with the target finder, so it's best to flank to the left or right after you finish shooting. You always want to try to shoot from behind cover. When you move from cover to cover. This gun is high damage, so if you find yourself out in the open, you're at a large disadvantage and can be killed easily because of the slow fire rate of this weapon. Another thing to note about the FAL is that it has better bullet penetration than the other assault rifles, so you can use this to your advantage. When using the FAL, it's best to do most of your aiming and searching for targets behind cover. Also note that when you reload, you must be behind cover because you are vulnerable to be shot during this time. Don't stay in one area too long or you will be flanked. When moving around the map, it's best to move around the edges of the map and not the center of the map, so you can keep your enemies on one side. If you run into 2 or 3 enemies at one time, you've likely ran into the enemy spawn, and so you can either fight your way out or hope that your teammates are running with you so you can flip the spawn to the other side of the map. This class is actually not built to run into an enemy spawn and take over. We would need a silencer on this gun to do that. Sometimes you will get away with it, and other times you won't. But if you remember to keep your enemies at a long distance, keep aiming down sights, moving left to right to flank, you will do well with this weapon. I hope you enjoyed this logical class, and thank you for watching.